know what it is. Yep, she talk. We plant seeds, drop breadcrumbs, yep, feed the eggs. Should have going to a better awareness. And now, yo, with seed talk, stuff to make your seeds walk. I came from earth, we close like some tree bark. I came to plant seeds, I came to breed trees. Together we bear fruit, you can check the leaves. Get light on blind spots, water the grass is green. Everybody is a coach, we speak as a team. Being supreme, we the seen and unseen. Yo, we gotta keep it real to wake you out of your dreams. Yo, seed talk, stuff to make your seeds walk. Seed talk, stuff to make your seeds walk. And seed talk, stuff to make your seeds walk. And seed talk, stuff to make your seeds talk.
Okay. Stop it. This is seed talk, stuff to make your seeds walk. Y'all know what it is. We got a very, very special episode today. Man, been trying to get this guest on the show for a while, man. And I just feel like I've been given the coldest shoulder. You know what I'm saying? And over here, I'm feeling like Matthew Henson, man. I need a starter jacket, a fur coat, earmuffs. I need a heater. You know what I'm saying? I need everything up in this bad boy, man. I might need to get inside the stove. But got a very special guest today. Before we introduce the guest and whatnot, I want to encourage everyone to please share and comment on this, engage. This is what I trust. It's going to be a series with this young man and whatnot. And then make sure if you feel so obligated to, please donate to Seed Talk in the whole production of it. You know what I'm saying? Cash App, $ Logic Amen, Venmo at Logic Amen. I'll have our guests put their information in there. But with no further ado, I want to give it up for my guy, my son, the extremely talented, successful, at one point viral, and we ain't talking about a cold. We're talking about social media. Let's give it up for Mecca. Amen.
Are there people in there with you?
What's up? Let's get it. Let's go. Give it up for Mecca. Amen. I've been telling this guy, man, I ever since, I had to put hands on him in our sparring match some years ago. We're going to release that. Ever since he wanted, to be a professional boxer, after I had already, killed his hoop dreams, I decided to kill his boxing dreams also, put hands on that man. But that's all footage that we're going to put out once we develop this brand of Son to Son. But in all seriousness, it's good to have Mecca Amen on the show. We're going to talk about being an influencer. What was it like growing up, as one of my children, and just basically, how he got into the social media thing. He's been more successful than his pops have. Give it up for him. Thank you. He's been doing his thing. Y'all can see him on IG. His reels and his skits are pretty unique. They're pretty diverse in nature, but they're also, very creative, saying, and innovative and whatnot. So, why don't you just go ahead and tell them, who you are and what you're trying to do with this, this talent, thing and whatnot. Tell them where you went to school at, and you got the history there and everything. So, because I got my stories, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the Mecca Amen story? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. So started here in Seattle, born and raised, spent 18 years of my beautiful life here. And then I got shipped off essentially to Ohio.
Shipped off? How'd you get shipped off? I thought you went to school.
Yeah,
that was a choice you made. You didn't get shipped off. No, you made a choice to attend a school in Cincinnati. You did the whole, reverse pilgrimage, which was kind of cute. You know, I came from Cincinnati um to Seattle, and you decided to go from Seattle to Cincinnati. I came here. I went to college. You went there and went to college. So don't try to do that, bro. Don't try to.
And the reason I said shipped was because I had no choice. I couldn't go to school in state. I had to be out of the house and out of my dad's face by 18. So, and those were his.
First
Those,
of all, how are you shipped off when you left via a plane? You got on a plane, so you're automatically lying. You didn't even get on the ship.
it's just a figure of speech,
You know, it's a lie.
It's,
Okay. And then you said I kicked you out of the house. You couldn't go to school here. Who said that? You couldn't go to school in Washington State.
that's what I took from that.
No, you didn't. You were just trying to get as far away from me as possible. Any school that would accept you. You didn't want to go to WSU and major in alcoholism, and that's not far away enough. So you decided to go to Xavier.
There we go. We can roll with that.
So talk about the high schools. Talk about your middle school experience and your
Oh
elementary
yeah,
school experience.
went to a different middle school each year of middle school. So sixth grade to eighth grade was a different school each year.
Was it
Started.
really? I don't think it was.
No, it really was. It really was.
Are you still on that story that you went to Madrona, bro? I don't remember that.
Bro, I went. I went to Meany Middle School.
No,
and
no,
then,
you didn't go to Meany. You went to Madrona.
and then I went to Madrona for seventh grade, and then I went to Madison for eighth grade.
Bro, you never went to Meany, bro.
I did.
Bro.
I honestly did.
And you can't even name any teachers. You can't even name the principal.
That was so long ago.
Exactly. So you went to Madrona and
Princess
you went to
Sharif
Madison.
was the principal.
Okay, she was. You only know that because I was there. So you went to 3 M's. You went to middle schools with 3 M's. How did you pull that? M, M, and M.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't even realize that, but that is true. I don't know why you had me bouncing around from middle school to middle school like that. Perhaps you didn't think the schools that I was at were fitting for me. But I remember I played the trombone at Meany. You don't remember that?
No. Everybody out there, he's been saying he went to Meany. I don't remember this at all. I just remember him going to Madrona and them calling me, and then him, I was at Garfield at the time. I was working security at Garfield. And I remember them calling me and basically come get your son. Come get your son. We're done. Because remember you had the dude that at Madrona that we used to call the Black Elvis.
Yeah, the administrator.
Yeah, he was the dean of students. Shout out to whoever he is. Shout out to him.
Yeah, he was dope. I was always.
I don't know about. Yeah, he had to be dope messing around with you. Because then your Uncle Freedom, he came, I think, the year after you left. But let's just talk about elementary school and what was that like, man? Tell them where you went to elementary school. Shout out to Seattle Public Education.
Elementary school was TC Minor.
Yeah. What was that like? You had a pretty dope principal.
Yeah. Was that that wasn't Ted, was it? Was it Mr. Howard? No.
No, that's actually the principal of the high school at Garfield High School.
Right. Okay.
Right.
I don't remember who my principal was at TC
It was
Minor.
Dr. Mitchell.
Dr. Mitchell, yeah.
Yeah. Darker skin, brown sister, the elder. And what I loved about her is she is incredibly intelligent and wise and a great leader. And she always had that gold tooth. So I wonder how Dr. Mitchell's doing nowadays, man. And she brought Venus and Serena to your elementary school. I don't know if you were there that day, but she brought them there.
Wow.
Yeah, and got in quite a bit of trouble at TT Minor Mecca.
I got quite a bit of trouble at every school I went to.
What was that about?
Except for my latter years of education.
We'll talk about why you didn't get into so much trouble when you're in high school. It's evident why you didn't, but we'll talk about that. But Why do you think you got in so much trouble at TT Minor? Let me tell y'all something real quick. When we were at TT Minor, I got a phone call from the after school coordinator. Mecca used to do after school there. And it was quite an emergency. And they said that he had I don't, and I couldn't even, what, it's one of those things where me being a high school principal and an educator for over 25 years, it's very easy for you to show up to a school when your child gets in trouble and be like, well, what are you doing? You weren't watching them. I never did that. Never did it. Because I just know that he was slippery and he was just sneaky. You could be watching him, you turn your back for half a second to turn around because someone passed gas, and you turn around, Mecca will be gone. And I guess that's what happened. I guess someone farted and she turned around. And when she came back, Mecca was gone and he had the EpiPen in his hand and he was sticking himself in the finger with an EpiPen. And that was a CPS moment. Not because I wanted to beat him and get, a CPS referral, but if I didn't take him to the emergency and show proof, then that would be a form of neglect because there are chemicals inside the EpiPen that could be detrimental to his health. And it appeared that he had broken skin. I put him in the car, and there's probably 2 times that I cussed him out, and I think that was one out of the 2 times he got cursed out. It was pretty bad. All the way to urgent care at Group Health up there on Cap Hill, only for them to sat in there for like 2 or 3 hours, and I knew what we were getting into. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was like, I got to take them because I'm going to get this CPS referral. If I don't, I had to bring back proof that I took them. They will report me because that's what they do. They're mandatory reporters. And I knew we'd be sitting there for at least 2 hours for them to say, go home. You know what I mean? Not even give them a Band-Aid. Not even a pat on the head. Not a kiss on the cheek or nothing. They could have kept them at that point. Kept them overnight. Just have them do random chores there at urgent care, please. Like clean the bathrooms or something. I don't know. But yeah, that was one of many times that Mecca found it really convenient to make my life inconvenient. Why do you think you got into so much trouble and when you were non-compliant? Lay it on us.
Non-compliant. I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, I really just honestly felt like it was just fun to like just be mischievous and not follow directions. Honestly,
So it was fun now.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, my mindset on not following directions was very unsophisticated, very minimal. It wasn't anything complex or intricate as it is now.
I didn't this now see now look, listen, this is the first time I've ever heard that this was fun to you getting in trouble because when you got in trouble, the look you get was like this. And you would cry a lot. And
getting into the actual trouble wasn't fun, but doing the things that led to me getting in trouble, I would quantify them as being fun.
Because so you had like you were kind of like an adrenaline junkie. Is that what it was?
Kinda. I guess you could put it that way.
You like the excitement of going through it, but you didn't actually like the outcome and the results.
Right. And I always thought I was gonna. I don't know why, but I always thought I was gonna get away with my nonsense.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I didn't get away with the majority of it. Arguably none of it, to be honest. I arguably didn't get away with anything that I did. So
I'm sure. I mean, the statute of limitations is up, man. You can go ahead and tell us what you got away with, bro.
I don't know. I don't even.
Yeah. Unfortunately for you, you had a pretty intelligent father. And
unfortunately for me.
Unfortunately, because according to you, you didn't get away with nothing. I mean, by the time I was your age, I had told my mom at least 7 or 8 things that I had gotten away with. And she was like, "What, really?" And I wasn't even nowhere near. I said, "I'll come back when I'm 30. I'll tell you some more when I'm 30." By the time by the time I was 26, man, yeah, I had told my the statute of limitations was up, and I wasn't gonna get a whooping or get in trouble. So, um, anyways, so it was just fun to you. That's it. That's how you're gonna attribute it. That's what you're gonna attribute to your poor decisions. It wasn't had nothing to do with trauma. It had nothing to do with anything. It was just had nothing to do
What?
with your aces or anything.
My aces?
Yeah.
What's that?
Um. Is it? I think it's adolescent adverse childhood experiences, ACEs. It's a test. It's a survey
Oh,
you take, and then it's like I think it's like 10 questions, and then you're supposed to put a check next to the question or the prompt that is associated to you that you went through, and then you have a score out of 10, and they're able to determine like people's quality of life and even especially how long they live on a planet too. It was this book written by I think her last name is Burke, but it's an excellent book. It's called The Deepest Well. Is how I was introduced to it.
mm.
But so you don't think it had anything to do with your aces or anything to do with your trauma or anything?
Well, I mean, as I got older, I became aware of that. But at the time, I was oblivious to that. There's no way that that was what was going through my head when I was doing what I was doing. But I mean, as I got older, I definitely came to realize that it was, um, a result of, trauma that I was dealing with subconsciously at the time, but becoming aware of as I matured and got older.
What kind
So,
of trauma are you talking about specifically? You think, in all seriousness?
just the the need, the want, the desire to um, have attention all the time, be accepted, feel like I belonged with, you know, um, my peers and, the people my age,
Mm-hmm.
the want to fit in. Um, I was, and yeah, it's just, the fact that, and that all stemmed from, the fact that, my mom, she left when I was 4. Um, so from there, it's just kind of just me, acting out,
Mm-hmm.
a cry for help. It's really
Yeah.
what it was. And,
That's what I've always, valued about our relationship is because your mom wasn't there, you know what I'm saying, in your formative years. They say your formative years is from 0 to 5. So she left when you were like 4 or 5. So she left during, I meant pardon self. Let me correct myself. She left during your formative years. And they say that you are who you are as an adult for the most part based on your experiences from 0 to 5 years old. Those are your formative years. And that's when I lost my father too. But then I had a stepdad, fortunately, to come into my life when I was about 7 or 8. But that's also a reason why, you know, I felt like I needed attention too, because I needed something to fill that void with my father being gone. And so I didn't have my father, but I did have my mother and my stepfather and another, extended members of my family. But you didn't have your mother, but you did have your father, and you also had a stepmother. So,
mhm,
and your brother and sister's mother. So that was good for you. So yeah, that's why that when I was a younger um person, they diagnosed me with ADD and ADHD and try to give me some medication. My mom was like, "That's not happening," and it was crazy because being in the education system and just looking at how the system works, they tried to do the same thing to you, and I said, "Mm-mm, you're not doing that." And I always told you, what I'm saying, I didn't raise you to be ordinary. I raised you to be extraordinary. So
mhm.
whatever challenges that you have, it's not nothing that you can't handle. So you're gonna have to figure out how to do it without medication. Because I knew as you grew up, because I could see myself in you, even though there were some things that you were doing that even my mom was like, "Oh yeah, you were a handful," but yeah, he's different.
he's,
Like,
he's
oh yeah, he's different. Yeah, I mean, just it just not registering, just not listening. Yeah, I mean, I was hard headed, but you were like, yeah, what's the you were diamond headed. Yeah.
honestly, yeah, I don't know what was.
Um, but I mean, there's so many stories, and I trust this is gonna be a series we can just share stories, but there's just so many stories. Um, talk about so we talked about a little bit about elementary school, middle school. Do you feel like you were growing more into, what I'm saying, making better decisions at middle school, or was it
No,
pretty much just
no, I wasn't. I really wasn't. Um, still just that want, that that yearning for, acceptance, and to be able to, do everything else my peers were doing. Um,
you felt like you couldn't do the same thing your peers were doing?
no, no, I didn't have the freedom that they had. Absolutely not. I didn't have,
Like
you know,
what is it that you wanted to do that they did?
I didn't have the luxuries that they had.
Like what?
They just, you know, a
Drinking
lot.
40s and smoking weed? What?
No, I was shielded from all that, but just like the cell phones, and
No.
the
Mm-mm.
the different, um what other electronic devices that people had, like, the iPods.
Oh yeah, but you figured out how to get a hold of them. That's for sure. The
Yep,
thievery, the
yep.
thievery was real, bro. I mean, Jesus.
And just the freedom that they had as well too. So
What did you
I
want
was
to do?
like, why
Just
can't I do the things that they're doing? Like, what's up with that?
because I was your age and I saw what could happen when young people are not supervised and they're put into situations where they really can't control the outcome if something happens, you know? And so I
Right.
was just like, I wanted to make sure that I was appropriately um protective over you when you were younger. So by the time you were of age and a young adult at 18, that I can trust that I had instilled upon you some prudence and some decision making skills that I wouldn't have to be as protective, if
Mm.
protected at all. If you needed help, you could just tell me. But I
Right.
wanted to make sure that I kept you away from distractions, from you actually being, what I'm saying, in a place where you could make good decisions. A lot of times, to be in that situation to make good decisions, you have to be kept away from them until you like prepare for them. So I didn't let you have a cell phone, you know what I'm saying, when you were younger because I knew like, access to social media, access to certain material and stuff like that, and engagement with other people that could be, what I'm saying, not appropriate for you. And you couldn't play video games during the week because during the week it was to, play sports. I mean, and do your academics first, and then sports. So I didn't need any distractions, and I always made sure I kept all three of y'all um very very preoccupied so you wouldn't have no extra time to even play video games or watch TV. And you also couldn't play with any melanin deficient or white action figures and have none of that. And it
It's
had
very
to
true.
be all supervised programming because I knew you're going to learn about white people and people that don't look like you outside the house. And I wanted to make sure that you got accustomed to seeing greatness and beauty in your own people and not be distracted by something that looked different than you, because that's
Mm.
what happened to me. I was flooded with white cultural heroes to the point I thought they were the most beautiful thing in the world. What was it like growing up in a household as a kid like not being able to um play with white eye. I mean, a couple times you got stuff from like your grandmother, like a Batman or a Superman. And they got, low key, they came up missing. You had to fill out the missing persons report, missing action figure report. But because I remember the other children would be like, "Ooh, Mecca got the white man. He got the Superman," and used to sneak away and do just stuff that was against the rule, like sit on Santa Claus's lap when we went to Toys R Us. Did it behind our back. I'm like, and then you had the picture. You kept it all. I'm like, bro, we don't sit on strangers' laps. That's like, we're not doing that, and he's not real. We work hard for these presents. Here, take some of this Kwanzaa energy. What was it growing up in such a pro black, pro carbon, pro melanin, proficient household that really promoted, what I'm saying, blackness and, you know, the achievements of copper people.
Of who people?
Copper.
Copper people.
We're throwing out all the aesthetic, what I'm saying, values.
Can we at
Copper,
least be like
brown,
bronze or
black.
something?
You said what?
Can we at least be like bronze or something?
That's fine. We can do that too. Bronze.
Or gold?
Gold.
What?
We can do that too.
Golden?
Golden brand.
Um,
How about golden bronze?
there we go. I
Yeah,
like it.
mixing our elements. You
But
get
no.
first and third place in color.
Right. But no, it was good. I liked it. I think it was, healthy for me to, be surrounded in that space in that environment.
You,
I
you
don't
thought
think
that you thought that even growing up, for real?
yeah, now that I think about it, I don't think I ever really questioned it or was confused as to why you, were operating in that manner and trying to have us, have these, visual representations of, black excellence. Um, I think I was pretty understanding of it, and it made sense to me because, the images that I was seeing, whether it be in the comic books or the TV shows or the toys I was playing with, it was a reflection of what I represent. I thought it was dope. I mean, you're the one who introduced me to the original Green Lantern who was black. Um, you introduced me to the
The original Green Lantern was not black. The new one was. The newer version was. But go ahead. That's fine.
I think in the comics I think he started off as black.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I've never been a real DC guy. Um, but I just remember him starting off white. But go ahead.
But no, I remember that. I remember that action figure,
Yeah.
but I remember you making, you know, that separation between, playing with, white action figures as opposed to black ones. What else? I remember the big. I'm sure it's still in that library of yours. The big golden comic book
Mm-hmm.
with turn it like of all the different like black heroes, um, portraying them in comic book form. That was super dope.
Yeah. Golden Legacy, I think is the name of that series. I
Yeah.
have the individual ones too. Shout out to Joy, the book dealer. She's out there selling books out there. She actually sells the individual copies. She has them. I bought some off of her. But yeah, I still have one of those, the thick ones.
Hmm.
If you have a thick one of those golden legacies and you don't want it, inbox me and I'll buy it off of you for real. I'll pay top dollar for it. But go ahead.
Um, but yeah, I don't. It may come as a surprise to you, but I was actually very, accepting of it. I liked it. But now outside of the house, I somehow, was able to not even somehow. I mean, it's quite apparent how I was able to still escape that outside of the house because I still got the comments of, oh, you're whitewashed. Oh, you're the whitest black kid I know or that I've ever seen.
Where'd you
Um,
get that? That was
oh,
when you were younger, before you left Seattle?
yeah, like at freaking at West Seattle High School, I got that. Um, I think that's when I really started hearing commentary like that.
You know what's
Um,
so crazy? That's like our lives are so much adjacent and alike, right? When I went to O'Day, and which is an all boys school, and we were the minority there. There was probably like out of 500 students, there we're probably like 10%, maybe a little bit more, maybe 20, maybe maybe. Um, but that being said, they used to call me, you know what I'm saying, like a sellout and say I talk white too. And it was always funny. I learned very young, like even like a sophomore in high school, like 15, is that they usually associate intelligence with whiteness, and that's sad. And I wanted to change that even at 15. I was like, okay, so talking proper and speaking proper English is acting white. Last time I checked, Malcolm X spoke proper English. That's the first thing I hit him with. And I
mhm.
said, Martin Luther King spoke proper English. Like, what's wrong with that? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, in actuality, when we look through history, it was black folks or melanated people that taught, you know what I'm saying, Europeans how to read and write. We had the first form of alphabet, you know what I'm saying, and mathematics.
Mhm.
So I also remember telling them, "Oh, so I'm whitewashed. Can you tell me who Frederick Douglass was? Can you tell me who Nat Turner was? Can you tell me who Marcus Garvey was?" And they couldn't tell me that. And I was like, "Oh, so but I'm whitewashed, but you don't know who your ancestors are." And then that's when I became Malcolm Farrakhan. They never said it to me again.
Mm.
So I mean, I just raised you how my uncle Askia raised me, and also my mom, you know what I'm saying, who was a Black Panther early in her life. You know, she wrote Black Power in the basement of her home in Cincinnati, Ohio. And, you know, and then of course my uncle, he was the first person that I ever knew that changed his name. So he was pro black. So I just wanted y'all to grow up and not have, these Christian names that you don't know that have no purpose, and also have a slave name. So I wanted to make sure y'all had meaning. So
Yeah.
but we also made it. I thought like I made it fun though. It wasn't like it was like, oh no, we can't have any white cultural images in our house. This is so unfun. We still made it fun. Like it still was fun to be black.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, yeah. I mean, it's dope to be black. I wouldn't I wouldn't change it for anything. But
Is that why you got blonde hair? But listen, I guess Aboriginal people of Australia have blonde hair too, so it's fine. We come in all different colors.
hey, the changing of the color of my hair has nothing to do with the comfort I have in my own skin.
I thought it was because I thought you were doing it because you wanted to play a role in like the theatrical version of Home Alone. I thought that's why you got that look. I thought you were playing that character.
Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah, I thought that's you're
Oh,
going for that. No, that's not what happened.
not at all what happened.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Just
right.
embracing
Well,
my unique. That's all.
mm, and then let's just talk about your high school. To you went on to go to from Madison High Middle School. You went to West Seattle, and at the time, I was an assistant principal, and I still am assistant principal at Lincoln High School in Tacoma. And I used to have you go to Hiawatha Community Center and hang out there. I think you had basketball practice some days too, because you
Mhm.
were at the age where you couldn't be trusted to be a latchkey kid. So I had you hang out at the community center until I could
You're
pick you up after school. That was a good experience. You got to know everyone there pretty well.
Mhm.
And you went to West Seattle High School your freshman year. And you wanted to continue to go to West Seattle High School because you had basketball dreams. You wanted to get a full ride scholarship to the University of Swim, and you thought you could do that by way of West Seattle High School. And so you were like, man, can I just stay at West Seattle High School? I don't want to go to Lincoln. I told you, if you can maintain a 3.0 GPA after your freshman year is over, you can stay at West Seattle and not have to come to Lincoln High School with me in Tacoma. And you agreed to it. And then you proceeded to get a 2.96 GPA. And unfortunately, you had to leave. You lost. You violated the deal, bro. How did you
Yeah.
feel when you were so close but so far away?
I was devastated. I was like, dang, I really got to go to school with my dad now. Like, this sucks. Whole new set of friends. Lost, loss of, you know, my group of friends that I was, hanging tough with. Um,
And getting in trouble with too.
sure, yeah, yeah. I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, I hated it. I hated it.
You
I was
hated
like,
going to Lincoln.
not just the original idea of me going there, of me having to go there, just
Mhm.
terrible. I didn't like it.
Mm.
Um,
Why?
and you definitely won worst dad of the year for that one that year.
How? We just didn't. We had an agreement. How? When all else fails, just blame black fathers, huh? That's what it was. I get that a lot.
Nah,
That's fine, man. You don't
no,
maintain a 3.0, blame it on your dad. He didn't do the homework for you. Yeah, he was the one who wasn't paying
you
attention
wasn't
to
there helping
class.
me study for those tests
Exactly.
and those
Right.
assignments.
Right.
It's all your fault. No, I'm playing. But no,
So how was your experience going to Lincoln High School? How long did it last for you to be like, oh, this sucks? How long did it last, you think?
shoot, I don't know. I think it only lasted probably like I think it came and went pretty swiftly. I think after
Didn't
shoot.
take it didn't take long for you to be on in-house suspension at Lincoln High School. You got in trouble, and I remember you had in-house suspension. I gave
Dude, hold on. First of all, we're not you contributed to those in-house suspensions.
you how?
I can't count on my hands and feet how many times we were late to school.
No, that's not the
That's
reason why you got in-house suspension, though.
yes,
No, you got
and then we had to attend Friday school for excessive tardies,
no,
and
no.
I missed the Friday school, and they were like, okay, now you're in in-house suspension.
That's not what happened. That okay, maybe that might have been another time that happened, but one
No, I
time
only got in-house suspension one in
no,
school
you
suspension one
literally got in trouble, bro. You literally got in trouble.
for
Something
doing
happened.
what?
I don't know. I mean, there's so many
Exa-
things you
The
pick.
fact that you cannot pinpoint what I got in trouble for validates my
No,
reasoning
you can
for
try
why.
that with another person who got into a lot of trouble and that might work. But the whole argument of if you can't remember all the trouble I got into, then it doesn't then it means I didn't get in trouble. No, that's not gonna work, bro. That's why you should. Anyways,
I remember. So you're just gonna not acknowledge the excessive amount of tardies that we had.
that's not the reason why.
I missed Friday school. That's exactly why I
That's
got school suspension.
well, that ain't had nothing to do with me.
Yeah, you
How
could
would you missing Friday school have to do with me being late to school when Friday school happens after school?
no. The reason why I had Friday school though is because for like
Mm,
excessive tardies. That's what
nah.
it was.
Anyways, so
You're deflecting, man. Own up.
I'm not deflecting anything. I'm denying it.
Own up.
The other D word.
Stop perpetuating stereotypes about black fathers. We have all these black fathers out here not taking ownership of their kids.
What
And
was it
right now,
like? What was it like going to Lincoln High School, being in ROTC, being a student athlete? I made sure you were in ROTC. That's one of the things that came with the earned privilege of being your father and an administrator is that I got an opportunity to make your schedule. And actually, your brothers and sisters all went to your brother and sister went to Lincoln also. But I want to make sure you had some discipline. That's why I gave you the ROTC. Make sure you stayed in sports. Make sure you did cross country, track, and basketball. What was that like participating as a student athlete and in ROTC?
it's good. I liked it. It it provided discipline, structure. It gave me priorities that I needed to focus on, which I needed
Yeah,
because clearly with enough free time, poor decisions would be
exactly.
formulate within my brain, giving me a
Right.
plethora of opportunities to do things that I just wasn't supposed to be doing. So it was good for me. I liked it, and it was all stuff that, unless athletic side, it was all stuff that I wanted to do and enjoyed doing. ROTC was an adjustment, as I did not want to partake in that originally. I was definitely like, why? No, I don't want to do this. I definitely had a problem with the regulations in place with that, but I adjusted and I became, you know, um, pretty pretty disciplined from it all, or very disciplined from it all, and kind of, you know, do I want to say excelled within ROTC? I didn't really
I
excel
think
within.
you did, man. Shout out to Sergeant Rayford. Shout out to Sergeant Rayford, man. She down there in Texas with Mr. Rayford Caesar, and they doing their thing, living in their little mini mansion and whatnot. But she really took care of you and stayed on you and whatnot, and did good. I remember your I think it was your sophomore year cross country. You won the city championship.
Yeah,
What was that like? Winning the city championship in cross country.
it was great. I just envisioned all of my traumas and then actively started running away from them. And then next thing I know,
You were beating people, huh?
and then next thing I know, I was crossing the finish line first.
Have
At the
you been able to really figure out what happened? You won the city championship. You were just excelling. You had a lot of momentum. Then it came the moment for you to qualify for state, and you were like one spot away from missing state. Like, what was it?
I don't know.
Why did you hit the ceiling? Look, that was that kind of a. It kind
Did
of
I
feels like you
choke?
kind of choked, bro.
No, I just hit. I don't know. I feel like I hit like a. Yeah, I don't know. My times were like improving steadily um, throughout the year, throughout my years running, and then I like peaked and like they just stopped. I started feeling like tired and fatigued before I really should have. I don't know. I felt like this, even though I was going to every practice, showing up, running, as I was supposed to. I just wasn't getting. I don't know. I blame it on my anemia to this day. I don't know. I'm gonna blame it on that.
Maybe so. You used to be a cold ice eating machine. You know what I'm saying? Pun intended. Yeah, I don't know what it was. I never will forget you just laying down prone after you figured out you didn't make it at the cross country meet when you didn't qualify for state. And after about 20 or 30 minutes, I was like, okay, we gotta go. It was pretty bad. Yeah, I feel no, I feel bad. I felt bad for you, man, because I'm looking at my son. I'm like, damn, he really wanted to do this, and then it was waterfalls, man. Your face looked like Snoqualmie Falls. So, but
You got
in all seriousness, I think this is a good time to segue into like throughout the years as your father, I've seen you grow up and change your goals. You know what I'm saying, and your success plan throughout the years. So I think at that time, like you were really thinking that track was your thing and cross country, and then a freshman came along, James Morara. I think, am I saying his last name right? I
James
don't think
Mora.
James Mora came along, and yeah, you went to state all right. Yeah, as his roommate, you didn't get to
as a
run
as a viewer, as an
as a
audience member.
viewer. You were like his like mentor since you were a little bit older than him. I think he was a sophomore when you were a senior or something like that. Or something like that, or maybe he was a junior. But I know you went to state because he needed a roommate, and I think they picked you because you had some leadership skills and what that was kind of admirable. So then it's like, okay, I'm not gonna do the cross country. Then you wanted to do the basketball, and basketball was one of those things. I used to coach AAU. Shout out to what I'm saying, baby boy, aka DeJounte Murray. Shout out to him. Um, he was one of my players for Vista when we used to run the tables on Rotary. Um, shout out to my man Daryl over there and the whole Rotary squad for developing young people in the Central area. But um, you were just the person in basketball who just didn't want to run the plays right. And I was like, I just remember, like, hey man, I'm just going in the Vista, you playing on my team, and just being so frustrated. I was like, hey man, someone else take him. I remember Anthony one year. That was the brother's name, and he took you on. And but once you got to high school, you had your target set on basketball. And then that senior year came around, and you made the basketball team for a week. And then I got that text message. He could have at least called me, but it was kind of awkward because I was assistant principal at the time, and I was one of his supervisors. And he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm sorry, man." And I'm gonna have to cut Mac. I mean, how was you feeling when you got cut from that basketball team, bro? And what's up with your lighting over there? And you a witness protection program over there or something? Because we know who you are, bro.
I got people after me. Here, I'll turn on my lights. Give me a second. I got that for you.
What are you doing, bro? Like,
I'm turning my lights on for you.
I know, but you just made it even worse. Now we can't see you at all. Come on,
Incognito,
bro.
man.
No, man, stop, man. Because we got about 9 more minutes to go, man. Because we gotta do a part two on this. I'm trying to get to the point where you got to the. So how was you feeling when you got cut from that basketball team, man? Senior year, we
Devastated.
got.
Devastated. I felt like it wasn't fair. I felt like I had room. There was room for me to, you know, um, improve, get better, and show a little bit of my game. I don't think it was very political at Lincoln. I think you know that as well as the next person. It was very political. I mean, they already knew who their guys were or who their stars were, so to speak. So, um, and Lincoln was a very a good basketball
Yeah, yeah.
squad, basketball school when I was going there. So it was competitive. A lot of those guys. Like, well, we had Trey Fletcher, we had Ahmad Worry, you know,
People who
uh,
went on to have careers after high school, play into college, and even play overseas.
right, right,
Even in
right,
the D League, Trey Fletcher played in the D League.
right, right.
Yeah.
So, it's always been competitive over there. But I feel like uh, me getting cut was definitely undeserved.
How'd you
I,
feel when your little brother made the team? Like the next year, well, his senior year. How'd
well,
you?
by then all the good guys had,
Oh,
you
see, here
know,
we go, man. Is that what we're doing now? God
I mean,
dang.
we were fit when I was an upperclassman. We had a solid, nice little squad, man. We had. I
So
remember Josiah.
you trying to say the reason why your little brother made the squad is because his competition wasn't as good. Wow.
And there was a coaching change, wasn't there? Didn't
Nope. 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 Absolutely not. You know what? I've been thinking about this for a while, Mecca. When you got cut from varsity, I think you should have really, really, really campaigned and really fought to play JV as a senior, so you could score at least 10 points a game on the JV team. So after it, yeah. So after that, I remember you had this fascination with being an FBI agent. After that, you're like, okay, I'm maybe basketball's not my thing. I want to be an FBI agent. And if anyone knows Mecca, Mecca didn't want to, he does not going to start at like the entry level of any career. Like if he wants to play basketball, I'm going to skip over, saying college. I'm going to go straight to the D League. Yep. And then I'm going to go play for, the Supersonics. Well, the Supersonics don't have a team, man. I don't care. I'm still going to play for them. And so that was kind of Mac. Mac always, so instead of like being like, maybe, subway police or metro transit police or maybe a security guard at the mall or maybe a police officer in Tacoma or Seattle, Mecca said, I want to be an FBI agent. What happened to your FBI agent dreams and visions?
They were railroaded by
Railroaded.
um,
Jesus Christ.
by my ongoing aspirations to play professional basketball.
Maybe it
So
has something to do with it also that when I uh introduced you to a person that I know who's the FBI agent, we sat down with him. He told you that you couldn't um come back home if you made it into the FBI for 3 to 5 years. You increase your chances of being hired if you can speak another language, and because most of your work is overseas, and they get about 1,500 to 2,000 applications a month. That had nothing to do with your desire to be an FBI agent.
um no, but
Jesus
here's the other
Christ.
but here's the other thing. I wasn't making strides to accomplish, any of that or work towards that while I was in college, like at all.
Okay. Well, didn't
So
you major in law enforcement though?
criminal justice.
Criminal justice. So you were working towards that
I mean,
vision.
I guess in that sense you
Yeah.
could say, but outside of school, you know, outside the realm of higher education, I wasn't, making connections, trying to set myself up for a criminal justice related job once I graduated.
Why not? Why not? Because you said you were concentrating on basketball,
Yeah, yeah.
and you
I
did that, and you did that. You tried out for the guys' team over at Xavier. Shout out to the Musketeers, the mighty Musketeers. Yeah, shout out to them. And you
yeah.
tried out for the team,
Hmm.
and you made it. You made the um the women's basketball practice team.
Yeah,
Shout out to the Lady Musketeers.
yeah. Lady Musketeer. Yeah, they're great. That was fun. You know,
Yeah.
certainly not where I wanted to be, but
What made it fun?
just just be on the court, getting that experience.
Getting some gear. You got some free gear, right?
Oh yeah,
Tons
great
of gear.
gear.
Did
Yeah.
you hook up with any of the ladies on the team?
I remember what shorty was rocking would be tough, but we never really did anything.
Yeah.
Or
Well, you didn't have to get. I didn't want to know all that. I was just saying, did you date anybody on the team? I mean,
nah, but this one shorty wanted to.
yeah. And it was kind of uncomfortable because, like, you're dating someone who could beat you in basketball. That's kind of awkward, right?
Yeah,
They could
she
hoop.
she probably they could hoop, but ain't none of them beat me on the court though.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not a chance.
Yep. And so after basketball, like, when did you start transitioning into these aspirations to be a professional boxer?
Yeah. Um, Shoot, I think it was junior year. They had club day at
Mm-hmm.
Xavier, and I didn't even know we had a boxing club.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, this is definitely something I can excel in. This is definitely something I would be good at. My dad used to take me to the gym all the time. You know, and I also wanted to learn too because I always, consider myself to be someone who was, you know, um, just kind of like not intimidating. Someone who is, scared and intimidated by other people's presence.
Better.
What
My
was
bad.
that?
My bad.
I was
little snap poo there. Pardon stuff.
Just discovered
Nope, don't do that. Okay. I'm listening. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was bullied, growing
When
up.
was this? When were you bullied?
I was definitely bullied growing up for sure.
Really? I never knew.
Yeah.
Did I know about this?
I don't know. I never really told you about it, but like
What they bully you for, bro?
I would get made fun of for my hairline all the time.
Oh yeah, it was notorious, man.
Just the way I looked. Dude, people saying I'm corny. People saying they could beat my ass and I'll get pushed around a little bit,
What
stuff
was
like
this?
that.
This happened in Lincoln too. When I was there with you.
No, not really. This didn't happen at
Hey,
Lincoln.
hey, I'm sending up to all the
I had,
bullies out there. Leave my son alone. That's why he's
I
handsome
had, I had
and he's
immunity once I
cool.
got to Lincoln.
You said what?
I had immunity once I got to Lincoln. No one wanted to mess with me then.
Okay.
Um,
Well, in all seriousness, I'm sorry that happened to you. I didn't know you were getting bullied like that. So you started to go into this boxing, and I think that what made you stop doing the boxing? I think you were on a roll, man. You had won like maybe 6 or 7 matches in a row. What made you stop doing the boxing?
COVID hit, man. COVID hit. Gym shut down. They weren't having matches no more.
You said COVID hit, but your dad also hit too.
You ain't hit hard enough, cause I ain't hit the canvas.
Well, I didn't want to put you down, man. I kind of, I kind
You
of
should
felt.
have. You should have, man.
Well, we were just sparring, man. We were just like, for those y'all don't know, I mentioned it earlier in the show that Mecca and I, and when he was at the height of his boxing, he decided to fight me, spar with me. When I think I was at the time, I had gotten down to 195. Mecca was probably 175. So he was 20 pounds smaller than me. He definitely won the fight on jabs, jabbing me. He was touching me up, and I didn't really want to hurt him. I didn't. And I hit him with an uppercut that snapped the back of his head hit the heel of his shoe. And and I figured out how much I really loved my son at that point. I was like, oh my God. And he was like, hey man, back up, man. No, it's all good, man. Let's just fight, man. For real, man. Just stop. And I'm like, no, are you okay? Yeah, man, I'm fine. And after the boxing match, he admitted to me that he had a headache and his ribs hurt. I felt bad. But
what? I did not make that.
You did definitely say your ribs hurt and that that your head hurt from the uppercut, bro. You did. And Mecca proceeded to go on a 3 to 4 boxing match losing streak, and then he stopped doing basketball. I mean, he stopped doing boxing, and that was the point where I realized I saved our son's life with the mighty right hand. And he still wants this rematch. We can get it in. But he stopped boxing, and that's when you made the transition to, well, you'd always been doing modeling, and I had to kind of like tell you about the ins and out and the hustle game and the modeling, because you had people modeling, you were modeling for people who didn't have portfolios or whatnot, bro. And that's kind of, they were running around. He was talking about, if y'all didn't know, he was talking about being an underwear model, but he didn't have no underwear on in these damn pictures. I felt a little uncomfortable seeing my son's V and his six pack, seeing some. Yeah, he was looking like a prevert out there. I almost saw pubic hair in a couple of these pictures, man. It was disgusting. So tell us about, what was it? Because I remember when you were younger, I had introduced you to Deshae Frost, and I had been knowing Deshae Frost and his mom, Monique. Shout out to Deshae Frost and his mom, man. He's doing big things. He's worth probably a good 750, if not $1 million. He's worth a lot, and I seen him really grind, on his craft. Shout out to Deshae Frost. But I remember I introduced you to him, and y'all started doing vines together.
Mm-hmm.
What was it for you when you were like, man, I really want to do this social media, this influencer, and be a funny guy?
It was something
you're pretty good.
Yeah, it was something I always knew I had in me. I'm like, I'm actually really funny. I'm humorous. And I'm also,
you're supposed to let other people say that, bro. You're not.
Nah, I mean, I'm a man of modesty, so I don't say these
That
type of
that
things too
wasn't that
often.
wasn't
I
modest.
often,
That
I
wasn't
huh?
modest. That wasn't modest. It wasn't.
You gotta talk your stuff sometimes. You gotta hype
Mm.
yourself up sometimes.
I'm right here to talk it for you. I'm your dad.
More
So I
most
already said
often,
you were funny, so you don't have to say it again, because then that's when you become not funny. Anyways, go ahead.
most often those things are said for me, but um, I wanted to be. I was looking at everyone else doing it. I was really like Vine is when I really was interested in becoming a creator because I'm looking at people like Deshay, King Batch, Anwar. Those are a bunch of guys that started off on Vine, and of course they're where they're at now. But I was like, I can do this too. I'm funny. I know of a lot of relatable situations that people can relate to. Um, that'll you know make for great content, and it'll be content that people can like resonate with and they can laugh at. And I just like making people laugh and smile. Bringing joy. Yeah, that's always a good feeling.
So tell
So
us, tell the before we log off and stop this and then transition into part two for next time. Tell them about what's been your most successful skit that you've done. How many views have you got?
my most successful one to
Hmm.
date is 6 million views and
Ah,
seven
6 million.
700,000 plus likes. I'm still getting likes on that video, likes and views on that video today. So
Man, that
that's
was dope, man. Seriously, I'm proud of you about that. And then I know you and I we did a couple, and then before you fired me, I know one of ours did like 70K, and I was like,
yeah.
man, we're on to something good. We need to keep going. And you're like, I really don't have time for you, man. I'm kind of viral. I'm kind of like got some other things going on. I got a meet and greet, and people are, I'm signing T-shirts and
The
cleavage and
goal the,
stuff.
the goal is to get to that point. I'm not there yet.
Yeah. I could have sworn one time I asked you to do something. You said I'm busy signing several women's cleavages. So I was like, all right, fine. I have cleavage too. You can sign my cleavage, but
That
anyways,
that
if
was
y'all know Mecca and y'all know what him and I can do together, our father son skits are pretty hilarious. And I'm just really trying to encourage y'all to encourage him to, do some more skits with me and spend some time with his dad. I'm a little lonely. I wanted to stop. Like, what's been like? What was it like being on that dating show that got a lot of views and engagement on social media on YouTube? What's the name of that show? Talk about that real quick.
channel was called The Cut. The segment that I was on was called The Button, which is basically a speed dating segment. Two people sit in front of each other, a guy and a girl. They talk to each other for a little bit. Eventually, there's a red button that's sitting on the table in between them. Eventually, the red button will light up red. If either one is not feeling, the other person, they can choose to hit the red button and reject them, and then it'll send someone else to stay in front of them and see if they match. Um, so that was the segment. That was fun. That was a cool experience. That was a dope experience. I liked it. I just kind of went in there, and was myself. But everyone was everyone was saying I got Riz and all this stuff, and I got game. But I don't know. I just went in there, and I wasn't putting on an act or anything. I wasn't putting up a front.
She didn't push the button on you though. You made it. She liked you.
She didn't end up pressing the button on me. Um, but if I was a, not as nice person, I would have pressed the button on her, if I'm being honest. But
Dang, man.
I didn't have,
Dang.
I didn't have the heart to press the button on her.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
No, bro, you're not supposed to say that, man. She's watching this. That's not nice.
It's
Anyways,
true though.
hey, you know what? We usually do the plan of action and or do some homework after this. We're gonna postpone that because we need to have a part two and talk about like what's next for Mac. I know you got some short films you've been auditioning for. you were in a fashion show. You and I were in a fashion show together, celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop down at the pier. And you got some other stuff in the works. And so we're gonna have to do a part 2, man. Why don't you let them know where they can find you at on social media?
Yeah. Instagram is my main platform. That's my biggest platform right now.
Yeah.
So it's at Mecca.amen. So MECCA .amen. YouTube, I just started like announcing my YouTube to my peoples, to my audience, to my friends. We're at 42 subscribers right now, and growing.
Hey, don't do that. Don't do that ever again. Okay.
What?
Just tell them to subscribe. Don't tell them how low the number is.
So subscribe to the YouTube. The YouTube is all I do is.
Yep.
All I do is drip. One word. All I do is drip. One word. That's the YouTube. Gotta subscribe to that. You know, my dad will make an appearance, of course. Tons of, you know, public interaction content coming up on there. Interviews.
Yeah, you heard it. You heard it here first on C Talk. My dad is gonna be on there. See, I didn't even know that. So now you got witnesses that, you know what I'm saying, you know, you gotta have me on there.
Yeah, I will have you on there for sure.
Because you know where you get the funny from. Yeah. And then I know where I'm gonna get the money from, since I know where you got the funny from. Yeah, buddy.
You know, that's true.
Hey, me, bro.
But I definitely get my humor from the likes of like Deshae and Kevin Hart. I don't get any of it from you. And even
so much difference.
That's a lie, though. That's a lie. No, I definitely get my humor from you for sure, 100%. You have inspired my humor and my creativity, and the combination of the two as well.
Yeah, we gonna talk about this next episode. So make sure y'all check out Mecca on All I Do Is Drip on YouTube and on Instagram. He is Mecca.amen. He got way more followers on Instagram than me. You know what I'm saying? This dude's doing it big. But next episode, I really want to talk about what's next for you with the music and the acting and the modeling and all that. And also want to talk to you about your barber. So and let's make sure that we're not as frozen and stuff and doing all this other stuff over there, man, because you're just frozen over there. This is terrible. But anyways, it's been Mecca, man. It's been C Talk. It's been great. We love y'all. We about to you know what I'm saying, be up out of here once again. So tune in next time. C Talk, stuff to make your seeds walk. We out.
You know what it is. Yep,
we out.
Seeds, drop breadcrumbs, the eggs.
Do I just leave?